We'll begin our examination of the epithelial tissues by looking at the simple epithelia. We'll start with simple squamous epithelium. This is a tissue that lines the microscopic air sacs, which are called the alveoli of the lungs, and it also forms the inner lining of the heart and the blood vessels. In the lungs, it allows material to diffuse through the epithelial tissue, particularly oxygen and carbon dioxide, because the cells are thin and in a single layer. And in the lining of the heart and linings of the blood vessels, it makes the inner walls of those structures smooth. Next, we'll look at simple cuboidal epithelium, which lines the kidney tubules and forms the parts of glands that secrete various substances. In the kidney tubules, the epithelium typically functions in absorption and possesses microvilli. And in the gland tissue, it functions in producing and secreting whatever that particular gland happens to make and secrete. Next, we'll examine simple columnar epithelium, and this epithelial tissue comes in two varieties. It comes in ciliated and non-ciliated. The ciliated variety lines the uterine tubes and the uterus of the female reproductive tract, in addition to the large diameter bronchioles of the respiratory system. It typically possesses small glands that are called goblet cells that produce and secrete mucus in those locations. The non-ciliated variety is found lining the stomach and the intestines, and this type of simple columnar epithelium also tends to possess goblet cells. The ciliated variety functions to move materials across the tissue surface, while the non-ciliated variety functions in absorption of nutrients and secretion of various digestive materials. And our final simple epithelial tissue is pseudostratified columnar epithelium. This is a tissue that's always ciliated, and it lines the very large diameter airways of the respiratory system, such as the trachea and the bronchi. It also possesses goblet cells that secrete mucus, and the cilia that's found on this tissue helps to move that mucus and any dust and debris that it traps away from the lungs and out of the air passages.